You are working harder than ever. Yet somehow, people still interrupt you in meetings, overlook your ideas, and treat you like the junior person in the room. The painful truth? It may not be your skills holding you back. It may be the way you speak. Every day, millions of professionals unknowingly sabotage their own authority through tiny linguistic habits that quietly destroy confidence and credibility. A quick "sorry," a nervous "I just think," a casual "I got lucky." These phrases seem harmless, but over time, they train people to see you as uncertain, even when you are highly capable. And in today's hyper-competitive workplace, hesitation is expensive. In this video, we are exposing the 3 communication habits silently weakening your executive presence, and more importantly, how to replace them with language that commands respect instantly. By the end of this video, you will know how to sound more confident, more decisive, and more authoritative without becoming arrogant. Let's begin. The first habit destroying your authority is reflexive apologizing. You've probably done this dozens of times today without noticing. Sorry for the question. Sorry for the delay. Sorry to bother you. Sorry, can I add something? Modern workplaces have normalized apologizing for existing, especially in digital communication. Slack messages, emails, Zoom meetings. People constantly soften themselves before speaking, as if asking for attention is somehow a burden. But here's the psychological problem. Every unnecessary apology subtly communicates, "My needs are inconvenient. My voice requires permission. I am taking up space I haven't earned." Over time, this weakens how others perceive your confidence, and worse, it weakens how you perceive yourself. Now, this doesn't mean genuine apologies are bad. If you make a mistake, own it. But apologizing for basic participation, that is self-minimization disguised as politeness. So how do you fix it? Use what communication experts call the gratitude pivot. Instead of saying, "Sorry for the late reply," say, "Thank you for your patience." Instead of "Sorry to ask," say, "Thanks for clarifying." Notice the difference? One frames you as a problem. The other frames the other person as appreciated. That small shift changes the entire emotional dynamic of the conversation. You stop communicating guilt and start communicating professionalism, and people respond differently to that energy. The second confidence killer is what psychologists call verbal cushioning. These are phrases designed to soften your statements. "I just think," "Maybe this is wrong," if that makes sense. "I'm no expert, but..." Most people use these phrases to appear likable and non-threatening. But here's what actually happens. You unintentionally invite people to doubt your expertise before they even process your idea. Imagine a lawyer entering court and saying, "I just think maybe my client is innocent." Confidence disappears instantly. Yet many professionals do this every day in meetings, especially high performers. Why? Because modern workplace culture often rewards being agreeable over being clear. Many talented people fear sounding arrogant, so they unconsciously shrink their language. But clarity is not arrogance. Precision is not aggression. Direct communication is a leadership skill. Instead of saying, "I just think we should change the strategy," say, "We should change the strategy." Simple, clean, confident. And here's another powerful technique. Practice the pause. Most insecure speech patterns come from discomfort with silence. People rush to soften statements because silence feels emotionally dangerous. But confident communicators allow their words to stand. They make a point, then pause. No nervous laughing, no instant backtracking, no unnecessary justification. That pause signals certainty, and certainty creates authority. The third habit silently damaging your confidence is achievement minimization. This is when people downplay their own success to avoid appearing arrogant. Someone praises your work and you instantly respond, "Oh, it was nothing. I just got lucky. The team did everything." But notice the pattern. Many professionals reject credit for success while taking full responsibility for failure. That imbalance slowly destroys self-worth because your brain is constantly hearing success equals luck, failure equals me. Over time, this creates a dangerous internal narrative. You begin disconnecting from your own competence, and eventually, imposter syndrome takes over. Now, let's be clear. Acknowledging your contribution does not mean dismissing others. Confidence and humility can exist together. The solution is objective reporting. State facts without emotional shrinking. Instead of, "I got lucky," say, "The project performed well because I focused heavily on audience retention." Instead of, "It was nothing," say, "I'm glad the work created value." That language feels uncomfortable at first because many people were conditioned to associate confidence with arrogance. But there's a massive difference between self-respect and ego. One is grounded, the other seeks superiority. Here's what most people never realize. These speech habits are not random. They are symptoms of an internal belief system. Your language reflects your identity. If you constantly apologize, soften, and minimize yourself, eventually your brain starts treating insecurity as your default personality. And in today's increasingly competitive professional world, that mindset becomes dangerous because opportunities often go to people who sound confident, not just those who work hard. So how do you begin changing this? Start with a micro audit. Open your sent emails and messages from the last week. Search for words like sorry, just, maybe, I think, hopefully. Look for patterns. What situations trigger your insecurity? Authority figures, meetings, conflict, presenting ideas? Awareness is the first step to transformation. Then shift your internal framing. Stop asking, "Do I deserve to speak?" Start asking, "How can I provide value here?" That single mental shift changes your energy completely. You stop seeking permission and start leading through expertise. Executive presence is not about having the loudest voice in the room. It is about communicating with calm precision. The people who command respect rarely over-explain themselves. They speak clearly, listen carefully, and close conversations decisively. They don't chase validation after every sentence. They trust their competence, and others can feel that trust. Here's your challenge for the next 7 days. Choose one qualifier to eliminate. Maybe it's just, sorry, maybe, I think. Remove it completely for 1 week. Observe what changes. Watch how differently people respond to your ideas. Watch how differently you feel while speaking. Because confidence is not built through motivation. It is built through repeated evidence that your voice deserves space. And the moment you stop shrinking your language, people stop shrinking their perception of you. Your words shape your identity more than you realize. Every sentence either reinforces confidence or reinforces doubt. So the next time you feel the urge to apologize for existing, soften your expertise, or minimize your success, pause. Speak with clarity. Speak with intention, and let your voice carry the authority your experience has already earned. If this video helped you, subscribe for more psychology-backed communication and confidence strategies designed for the modern workplace. And remember, the world often treats you the way you teach it to treat you.